Hi, how are you? I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're looking forward to the weekend. Thank you for joining me. My name's Shaban Ahern, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would really, really greatly appreciate that. That'd be really kind of you. I have loved the lovely comments that we got from the game in the week, the playoff game for Scotland against the Republic of Ireland. And thank you very much for your love on that video. I really enjoyed doing it. Actually, it was a very very different day. So thank you so much for your love on that. But I wanted to really just take a moment to focus on Emma Hayes. After the news came out that she is in recovery and stepped back from her role as Chelsea manager after undergoing an emergency hysterectomy. We've heard about Emma Hayes' struggle with endometriosis before. It's meant to be a very, very painful thing that women suffer. We've heard her speaking about Beth England suffering from this as well. And I think one thing I've just been obsessed with about Emma Hayes is her commitment to women in the game, their cycles, the importance of focusing on that, and how she has been affected by endometriosis and how it's important to focus on female health as well for that reason. And now just almost a bit sad to see that she's been rushed in an emergency for this hysterectomy operation, which is just full surgery. My husband phoned me this morning and he said, did you hear about Emma Hayes? And I said, yeah, I heard about it yesterday. And he said, so what does that mean in terms of her at Chelsea? But more importantly, what kind of operation is that? And I imagine it's quite a painful thing to go through as a woman, and what it entails. It must be hard for a woman, very, very hard. Now, we do know Emma Hayes is a strong character, and she is at home recovering just now. But yeah, I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her in this situation, and I hope she recovers well. And I hope she gets back to her job whenever she's ready to do so. But it's a lot on the body. It's a lot on probably your mental well-being as well. And it's a lot to realise that this part of your life is changing. That's how I would view it. That's how I think I would view that from a woman's perspective as well. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. But yeah, it's huge news, and what that means for Chelsea. Again, the time limit, you can't rush somebody like that to come back to work, and especially with the job that she does, you can't say it's not pressurised and physical and full on. So we wish Emma Hayes a speedy recovery and that she recovers from the operation well. She had the emergency hysterectomy last Tuesday, following the battle with endometriosis. So Denise Reddy, who's one of her assistants, and Paul Green is the other assistant who will be taking part in the pre-match press conferences this week, and have said that she's at home doing well and recovering, and that she will remain part of the team, of course, focusing on what's to come for Chelsea in the foreseeable future. And of course, they've got Everton this Sunday in the WSL, which should be an interesting game because it feels like Everton have ever so, maybe I'm too soon in saying that, feels like ever so slightly turned at that corner. But yeah, I just feel that the focus should be on Emma Hayes in this moment in time. She expects to make a full recovery, although does not specify when she might return to the dugout. I wonder what this means for her players and for the landscape of Chelsea women at the moment, when a character and a manager such as Emma Hayes has to take that step back for medical reasons. How they operate in her absence is something that I'd be curious about. Now, we do know that Stuart Searle and Paul Green and Denise Reddy are forever around her. They're always pictured together, always close together, they're always communicating with each other when you see them in games. But what it's like with her not there, how does that change things for the club, and how does it affect the players as well? I do wonder. So taking on press match duties earlier on today, Paul Green had said that Hayes is monitoring the team from home. We were aware of it just before the international break, so that gave us the opportunity to set up, is what they said. But also Emma's health is the most important thing beyond football, so it's a good window to be able to get in and have the surgery, and for us to get organised behind the scenes as well. He also said that he's spoken to her a few times over the last week, and as you can imagine, she's making good progress at home, and we hope that that progress continues on a daily basis. I watched the documentary of Emma Hayes, One Team, One Dream on DAZN, and I blooming loved it. Like, I loved it. I just think the woman's just such a hero. I'm obsessed with her. And you know that her focus on when she had a baby, Harry, getting, like, juggling being a mum and then getting back into work, and she felt that she missed the league because she wasn't fully committed to Chelsea, and it was tough because being a mum and working, imagining that situation is not easy whatsoever, and one of the reasons that she was then ready to step up again is because she acknowledged she wasn't able to give it her own. And when she acknowledged that in herself, Chelsea have gone on to be unbeaten in 3 seasons. Of course, there was COVID season as well, but in the last 2 seasons, they've been outstanding. We know Arsenal can be clipping at their heels. And Chelsea had that loss at the start of the season against Liverpool, but I imagine just how she affects that team, and with her being at home in recovery after a major operation will only galvanise her squad even more. And yeah, they have also been aware when been in this situation before for very different circumstances, but when she was pregnant in 2018, that they had to step in, take on these roles, and they're doing that again with our background staff. So Denise Reddy is going to be in the dugout with Paul Green for Everton this weekend. I just wonder, you can't help but wonder how long that is for. Of course, there's Champions League action next week as well for Chelsea. Massive games coming up, and without her there on the sidelines, it's weird to imagine. It's weird to imagine, but her health is most important, and she'll be at home recovering. Again, it's been reinforced that Emma will still definitely be involved. That's been said at the press conference earlier on today. The character that she is, she'll be at home watching all of the training online, linked into the bench on match days. As long as she's well enough to do that, she'll be heavily involved. I'm sure it will be difficult for her to watch the games at home, but hopefully we can play well in those games and get the result that's needed. Emma is very open and honest and a real inspiration to everybody out there. This is just another example of her being very open and getting women's issues out there for everybody to talk about, which maybe isn't the case on a daily basis. And I just feel it's right to share this moment as well, that I completely agree with that, and I'm at like breaking point now with people being dismissive of that when it comes to women in football, and how much your body and how much your cycle and how much the ongoings and Mother Nature can just affect the day-to-days of even performance. And now Emma Hayes is setting that benchmark for other clubs to look and monitor that for women. I know that Aston Villa are now seriously monitoring it as well. And I think this is the right thing. Women's health and women's bodies aren't easy, and I can say that for myself, and I mean that in the nicest way. It's not easy, and imagine being an athlete as well. It can be hard. There's days that you're expected to do 90-minute games, and what if you are on day 2 and in pain and in agony and sluggish and heavy, and your body's not recovering properly, and you need to eat certain things to get the best out of you, but you're still in a lot of pain as well. I love Emma Hayes for that. I love what she brings, and actually I had a debate yesterday on the radio about Thomas Tuchel, former Chelsea manager, has expressed interest in the England job. And I just said, what about Emma Hayes? Why would you not consider her? They were talking about the idea of a German manager leading England, because obviously Thomas Tuchel's German. And usually the go-to would be to have an English manager, because fans can understand the link. The manager understands what it's to be English and to be patriotic, etc. like that. Emma Hayes, as we know, is English, understands this league very well, is completely across everything in football, and the people I was speaking to about it were just like, well, she needs to work with boys and men before she works with like England men. And I was just like, why? Because the rules are different, are they? Like, are they different? No, it's just because men are bigger. I'm like, okay, so what, is she expected to be doing shuttles with the men in training? No. Does she not have a team of people around her who would deal with the physicality side, the nutrition side, you know, the details, the XGs, the stats, the performance analysis. They will have a team of people around her doing that with them, like every manager has, and she will manage. And I think what we have seen from her is this character, this brilliant manager, this person who doesn't ever seem to give an incorrect answer or waver, just a true winner. And for me, if I can see it in my lifetime, it would be wonderful to see a woman move into men's football. Emma Hayes might not want to do it, but I think men in football are missing out on women, because that is a leader, that's someone who brings issues to light, that's someone who manages people down to the finest details. And I just think she deserves everything. I just think she's a total icon. Okay, enough fangirling from me. That's the update on Emma Hayes after her hysterectomy. I hope she makes a speedy recovery soon, and I hope she's back very, very soon into the WSL. But you cannot rush these things. Her health is most important. Have a good weekend.